Welcome to DeGroote Pulse, the student career podcast. We're your hosts Akshat and Shreya, second year MBA students studying at the DeGroote School of Business at McMaster University. Each episode, we sit down with industry leaders, alumni, and recruiters to bring you real world advice and insider stories you won't hear in the classroom. Whether you're a master's or an undergraduate student, our goal is to help you navigate the jump from campus to career, one conversation at a time. From networking tips and leadership lessons to the latest trends in business, DeGroote Pulse is your go to source from turning ambitions into achievements. So let's dive in.
So, welcome to the very first episode of DeGroote Pulse. We are excited to have our first guest, Nathaniel Abogada, a DeGroote MBA alumnus, double degree in psychology and marketing management, and a passionate advocate for leadership development. Nate is currently manager of leadership programs at Tech RBC, where he plans, co designs, and executes innovative training for new and developing people managers. His journey from business school to building future leaders is shaped by his love for learning, his curiosity about what makes teams thrive, and his dedication to helping others grow. Whether in the classroom or the boardroom, Nate brings an open mind and a collaborative spirit to everything he does. We're excited to dive into his story and explore the lessons he's learned along the way. Thank you, Nate, for joining us.
All right. Thank you for having me in your first episode.
Okay, so before we jump in, Nate, we just want to take a head look back at your journey, and we want to ask you: Can you briefly describe one value or principle that has guided you throughout your transitions from school to career and your overall journey?
All right. I can't think of just one. I think like two kind of mindsets kind of go hand in hand. So I think I'll say openness to new learnings and um, to new opportunities. And the second one would just be stay curious. So I guess like curiosity and openness kind of goes hand in hand. So yeah, that kind of let me land from being in the supply chain world to now in the world of banking and even in the tech industry as well. So it's kind of a bit of the best of both worlds, basically the tech side and the banking side of financial institution.
Oh, that's actually some great advice. Thank you so much for sharing that, and I am very sure that the insights that you would share in within your journey is going to help the students a lot. So let's dive into our first segment, which is a lightning fire round. The purpose of this round is to basically understand you more in a fun and a casual way, and give audience a basic understanding of your personal life. So let me ask you a quick couple questions, and it's let's kind of take it as a rapid fire round. So yeah, let's start. So I'll start with the first one. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Oh, I was a night owl, and I mean, as a student, you needed to be a night owl, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But up until now, I guess there are certain situations where I'm still a night owl. But lately, I've been loving my early mornings with my hit trainings or 10K runs. So it's a kind of a nice balance.
Oh, perfect balance is all that it is, for sure. My second question is favorite leadership quote or book? Yeah.
Right. So I don't really have. This is not necessarily a leadership quote or book, but I got this quote from the book "The Beekeeper of Aleppo." It said, like, there's one beautiful line there that says, where there are bees, there are flowers, and
Mhm.
wherever there are flowers, there's new life and hope." It's kind of like translatable to me being a beekeeper. I'd like to be that beekeeper who kind of hones that environment and culture for people to grow and foster their
Oh, that's
skills as well. So.
that's a very interesting quote for sure. My next question is best piece of advice you've ever received.
So I think it kind of ties back to my initial answer earlier. So it's just always stay curious and be humble. No matter where you are in your career, you'll always learn a lot. Like you will learn a lot from different people, may it be career related, work related, or personal. So yeah, just stay open and be curious.
Oh, that's amazing. So my last question is something related to your leadership style. So, if I were to ask you one word that describes your leadership style, what would that be?
Okay, I've been thinking about this one word because it's kind of hard, but I feel like I would describe myself as a charismatic leader.
Oh, I mean, we both agree, honestly. With all the interactions we've had, we completely agree with that. So yeah, that's that's the first rapid fire round, and let me give it back to Shreya.
Thank you so much, Akshat, and thank you so much, Nate. And as you mentioned, we have been first viewers of how your personality is, and you try to bring out the best in people, and that reflects in your answers as well. So we would dive into your career story. So our first question to you would be around how did your time at DeGroote shaped your career mindset?
Right. So when I was in the group, I tried my best to expose myself to a lot of challenges. And there are a lot of opportunities in the MBA program and also for sure in the undergrad as well. But from my experience in the MBA, I had a chance to compete at least four different case competitions outside of Ontario. So there's one in Calgary, one in Montreal about retail, one in Boston, Massachusetts, about sustainability, and last was in Columbia University about emerging markets, which wherein our team actually won first place out of 80 schools, 80 business schools or MBA schools all over the world who competed for that. So it was kind of a proud moment. And I remembered when I had that opportunity, I was also doing my co-op, my first co-op at RBC. It kind of emphasized to the leaders there and to my team as well, not just to my direct team, but also to the broader team, how I am always willing to, like learn and put myself in an uncomfortable situation. And I also shared to them, like the report or the presentation that I shared. So it kind of showcased my presentation skills, my critical thinking skills, and that's kind of like me planting my seeds, like planting my career early on at RBC, although I didn't really know that I'll be ending up there, but I'm glad I did those. Also, I tried my best to be as involved in a lot of school activities, like being an MBA school ambassador or a DeGroote ambassador. Gosh, it's all been more than a year now. So yes, I was a DeGroote ambassador for 2 years. I was also the group leader that also kind of honed my communication skills and public speaking skills. Knowing that English is not really my first language, I speak about three and a half or four languages in my mind. So it's kind of like, it really could play a very tricky role when it comes to shifting or code switching in your brain. So I took every opportunity that I have to exercise or to enhance my communication skills. And I guess the last one is just building relationships. Like I try to build sincere and genuine relationships, not just with um, my alumni or the people who are recruiting in campus, but also try to make as sincere relationships from my peers. Like I wanted to learn more about from their experience, learn from different industries, like just try to get as much stories and values from them. So yeah, so like in a nutshell, I try to be as busy as possible during my stay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's actually great to see that your journey has kind of transitioned into different phases even throughout your MBA and now your role at RBC. And the way you mentioned you planted your seeds along the way so that you could actually achieve success was amazing to know, honestly. And a big shout out to DeGroote Leadership Program because me and Shreya both have been part of that program in some capacity. And I mean, we all have, I think, because as students we get that opportunity to learn about DeGroote, all its offerings in a great way, and we get to learn from like our seniors, and it actually helped us develop a lot of skills in us as well when we came to this MBA program. So yeah, huge shout out to the DeGroote Leadership Program for
The
sure.
original
Yeah.
program. Yes.
Yeah. So this is now I now also want to understand so your role at RBC has to do a lot with developing leaders and making these leaders succeed in their journeys, and technology has been like a very new thing in banks. Like it has kind of evolved over the years, and now it's becoming an integral part of almost all teams at any bank, right? So our next question to you is definitely around tech and leadership. uh, so we wanted to ask you, how does leadership in technology specifically differ from other areas according to you? Yeah.
Right. So in the tech world, like not just in banking, but I think in general, I would say that there are, and not just leaders, like I think that there are a lot of introverted people in the tech space. And I guess that's one of the main challenges of of any tech companies, I guess. Like when people get promoted as a leader or people manager, they would probably have a harder time, not a harder time, but maybe just kind of like a more challenging time to, like navigate through difficult conversations or different situations.
Yeah.
And I would kind of like try to tie this back to our learnings in MBA. Like, you know how whenever we would do case presentations, we would try to determine a specific persona, right? So in this case, like the persona for like our team, our persona, our target persona, are introverted, tech, newly promoted people managers.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like you'll see a lot of these uh, very timid people managers, and that's where our team steps in. I think that's also the beauty of our team's role. We pretty much equip these new leaders with tools, resources, and trainings for them to be set up for success.
Hmm. That's that's interesting. To lead off of that, like what? So you talked about a lot of skills that these leaders are generally developing, and you're trying to enhance them. So, what kind of future skills do you think in tech leaders that would outshine and help them in their career? So, some specific skills that any tech leader should look out for, or something that they would need in their career trajectory.
Right. Aside from learning, like the generative AI or anything related to AI,
Yeah.
or anything that's just like or taking advantage of the technology that's available externally or internally of their companies. I'm thinking of two skills that are very much needed. One is critical thinking. The world is evolving so much faster than we probably have expected, and we as leaders just need to be as agile, and we need to adapt very quickly, and we need to think on our toes most of the time, and critical thinking is needed more than ever. And I say that the second skill, I'm not sure if this is considered as a skill, but I think being empathetic in a world of uncertainty, in a world of chaos, in a world of a lot of things happening, like um, leaders or actually people would need more empathetic leaders. It may be problems about political or economic uncertainty, or even just for personal challenges. Um, People need more empathy in life, and just being more understanding of what's happening around you, and getting to know more about your direct reports, like having those one-on-one conversations, getting to know them more on a deeper level, and trying to be more empathetic. I think those two are very critical, not just in tech, but also like in any kind of leadership, tech or non-tech.
Thank you so much, Nate, for sharing that. Personally, I can totally relate to that. Coming from a tech background, something that I lacked was soft skills and people skills. And that is why I took that decision to pursue my MBA as well. So that's what I'm learning here. So I can like totally relate to what you were saying around how we as tech people are more working on the technology but not have any skills when managing people. So definitely relate to that. So, coming along the lines, us as students would need some guidance from someone like you who is in that space. So, any common leadership myth that you wish more students would understood?
I think one myth that I would want to debunk is that leaders have all the answers, and it's not the case most of the time, if not all the time. Leaders, no matter how high they are, they still learn a lot from people from different backgrounds, from different levels in the company. It's funny. I was just trying to uh, recall my experience just 2 days ago, very fresh from my event, from our Pride event at RBC. I had the chance to had a great opportunity actually to talk to one of our senior vice presidents during our roundtables, and I remember her talking about, like learning different things every day, like learning about pride, learning about anything basically, and like that really humbles her down. And there's always room for learning, and again, leaders don't have all the answers.
Thank you so much. I think that is one of the very big myths that we, like, as interns as well, definitely try reaching out to our leaders or people managers with questions that probably they don't even have answers to. Um, so, according to you, what mindsets do you think are becoming more important in today's workspace? Not just in tech, but in general, in leadership, or in just like as students who are at the beginning of our career, what are some important mindsets that we as students should definitely develop while during our undergrad or in our masters?
Right. I've probably talked about curiosity quite a lot already at this point. So I'd like to focus more on coaching, and I'd like to tie this back to my experience right now as manager for leadership programs. We've seen a lot of people not knowing really how to manage difficult conversations, or even just like coaching quote unquote their peers, just trying to navigate through a regular conversation, or like needing advice. And I think a coaching mindset is becoming more and more important. You also are not just coaching other people, but you can also coach yourself. And there are a lot of resources out there. Like you can listen to podcasts, you could read a self-help book about leadership. You can listen to a lot of inspirational TED talkers as well. Yeah, like you have a lot of resources out there that could potentially teach on how to coach yourself and to coach other people. And it's becoming more and more important these days.
Completely agree. Completely agree, Nate. I mean, coaching is something that we as students thrive for, honestly. To become better leaders, you should always know how to coach people, how to bring everyone together, how to build those journeys. So, definitely agree with you on that. Now I'm now trying to understand from you some of the advices that you have for our students in terms of uh, kind of if I were you section. So this is like a section that we love to ask our guests. If I were you, like to get advice from our guests on if they were in that situation, what would they have done differently, or what would they have advised to people, right? So my first question in if I were you is, if I were you about to graduate, what should I focus on in my last semester of studies?
Hmm. I mean, if I were you, I have a lot of things to do. I guess I'll just group them into three. First would be try to really know what you want or what you don't want to do. That's also critical, like what you don't want to do. Like I try to do kind of like a process of elimination, and that kind of helped me choose my courses as well at in business school. And shout out to D700 for the case
Yeah.
competition class and also for um, managerial negotiations, Dr. Head for D700 and Dr. Hani for negotiations. Both of them are my favorite classes. So if you have the chance, I would highly recommend to for you guys to take that. So yeah, so like that's one. Second would be just try to build as many meaningful connections as possible. I know that in the world of like in any business, like in the corporate world, like networking has been critical, but also it could be quite like an overused word and an overused activity, and a lot of people don't really kind of appreciate that anymore because like it has been become a kind of a cliche kind of task, but then building connections, like just trying to make friends in your classroom, in your place of work, in your co-op, or with anybody, honestly, that could help you have a better understanding of their nature of work or just yeah, like or their industries. Just try to have those connections, and who knows, like you'll probably use them in the future. But if not, like you'll still be able to thank them for shedding some light on your clouded mind, if ever you're kind of discerning what kind of career you would want to take. And third, have fun. Like there's a lot of things happening in school, and like you're still a student. Adulting for some, or if not most of you guys are not, like it's not real in a sense yet. So just try to enjoy being a student, because once you get out of the academia, it's going to be a bit tough. But you'll be equipped nevertheless with the tools and the learnings that you have from DeGroote. So yeah, so those are just my three cents.
Oh yeah, I mean that is great advice, and I am entering my last semester, so is Shreya. We're definitely going to take that advice going into our last semester. And for the people who don't know, from the undergrad, D700 is one of the case competition or case analysis courses here in MBA, and it is coached by Dr. Milan Ahead. It's an amazing course, as Nate mentioned, and yeah, that is apt advice. So let me lead off to you on my second question now, on the if I were you section. Uh, so it is, if I were you and had 30 minutes to talk to any industry mentor, it could be a VP of a big company or a SVP of a big company, what would I ask him or her?
I would probably ask them, like, what was your next step? Like every time you would, like every time you progress in the corporate ladder, like what was your next step? Like, did you take any trainings? Did you get any certifications? Who did you talk to? Like I just wanted to learn more about their experience, and I just wanted to learn their concrete actions, so that like I could probably be inspired by those. And yeah, like I just wanted to know what their next steps are. Like I'm a very forward focused person. I just wanted to like um, I'd like to foresee my future as much as possible. Like, it kind of probably shows how much of a control freak in project management I am, which is kind of perfect for my role. Like I'm a program slash project manager, so I really try to anticipate my future, the team's future needs. And in my personal life, I also just wanted to, like kind of like know what my future um, is. So I just wanted to see what the future steps or the next steps of those leaders have done before.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Nate. As like when I started my MBA, we back in India did not have a coffee chat culture. So going into a coffee chat with a senior leader was something that I used to be scared of. And these are the insights that definitely help us, be coming prepared and then go into a conversation with a senior leader. So that has been really helpful. So our last segment would be around you having any final advice for students who are about to enter the corporate world, whether they're in their last semester or some students as they would be starting their journey within their undergrad or in their MBA starting this fall. So any final advice that you have for students who would be taking up this journey and initially studying, but then eventually ending into the corporate world.
All right. Yeah. I know that job hunting could be a bit scary, considering what we see from the news right now, and with whatever is happening in the world. But um, I would just say just to continue having those conversations, as many conversations as possible with different people from different industries. Like you probably would never be interested in one industry. I have never seen myself working in a bank before. My background was really in supply chain. I was a global commercial analyst for 6 years, and I have never seen myself again, like working in a bank or in the tech space. So this is a very refreshing experience for me, and I'm glad that I took a leap of faith, and I just tried to open my mind. So yeah, so have those conversations, be open, be curious, and try to be as genuine as possible with those connections. So yeah, those are pretty much my pieces of advice.
That is such a lovely advice. Thank you so much for that. I know that after we have this podcast live, we would be having questions around how can students connect with you. So the question goes off to you. Where can students follow your work or connect with you?
Right. Yeah. So I think it's very basic. Just one LinkedIn follow or ad away. So yeah, just type in Nathaniel or Nate Abogada. That's Nethanniel or Nate space Abogada. Yeah, and I'll try my best to respond to any of your messages. Although Shreya and Akshat probably have witnessed this, that I am not as attentive to my LinkedIn. But again, like I try to check it every once in a while. But yeah, that's the best way for me right now.
Thank you so much, Nate, for giving all your advice. And I know this advice, these small steps, if we as students start to take, that would lead to a very big change in our overall journeys. Thank you so much for coming up to our podcast today. And that brings us to the end of our very first episode at the Group Pulse. A huge thank you to you for sharing your journey and leadership insights with us, and to all of you for tuning in. We hope that every one of you who is here listening to the podcast picked up some practical advice and fresh inspiration to help you on your own career path. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow DeGroote Pulse on Spotify and YouTube so you never miss a conversation. Have a question, guest suggestion, or a topic you want us to cover, please reach out to us on LinkedIn or through our DeGroote Pulse email. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep your pulse on what's next. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much, Nate, for coming.
Thanks, Sharon. Thanks, Akshat.
Bye.